Aya! Welcome! We're back with another Minidisc Monday in this special Lightning Seeds month here on my YouTube channel. And this week I'm taking a look at the Lightning Seeds' fourth studio album on MD. Well, their fourth studio album, their second album that came out on the MD format. I'm of course talking about Dizzy Heights. So we covered Jollification last week, their third album, and the fourth one, Dizzy Heights, came out a couple of years later, 1996. Interestingly, the same year that Three Lions was released for the very first time. Three Lions is not on this album, by the way. That was a standalone single. This reached number 11 in the UK album chart. I think that was their highest placing album at that point in their career. And I've just finished listening to it, so I can go through the songs and give you my thoughts on some of them. But before I do that, we'll do the obligatory look at the case, which is in decent condition. Another nice price sticker there. And we'll look at the disc itself and the booklet. So there's the disc. I don't like the artwork for Dizzy Heights as much as Jollification. It's nice enough, but Jollification with the computer generated strawberries I think is iconic for me personally. So artwork on that side, track listing, and a bit of copyright bump on the bottom. I'll leave this out actually because I'm going to read the tracks out and the text is very small on the back. So the text on the disc is a lot easier for me to read, even with my bins on. The booklet is in a kind of concertina style, nice and colourful as Lightning Seeds products tend to be. It's got all your production notes and lyrics in there, as you'd expect. And unsurprisingly, I'm struggling to fold this back up in an effective way. I do not like these inserts at all, really. I always struggle with them. There we go, done it. That took way longer than it needed to. So, Dizzy Heights, what do I think of it? I think it's great. Jollification is an album I've heard more because I owned it on CD, I believe, back in the 90s, so I've not listened to Dizzy Heights as much. I've only ever owned this on MD, and this is the first time I've heard it just before I came on to film this in years. But it's another really strong effort from Ian Browdy, it really is. So track 1, Imaginary Friends, lovely opener. Track 2, You Bet Your Life. Now track 3 is interesting, it's Waiting for Today to Happen, beautiful song, one co-written by the way with Nicky Wire, the bassist from Manic Street Preachers. Now it didn't come out as a single, Waiting for Today to Happen, but a version of it did appear on the Like You Do Best of the Lightning Seeds compilation the following year, 1997. I'm not sure how much the two versions, this Dizzy Heights version and the Like You Do 97 update differ. I'll only know and tell you which one I prefer when I've listened to Like You Do, but this version on this album is wonderful. Track 4, What If, that did come out as a single. I'm not sure, by the way, if Waiting for Today to Happen, whether they were thinking about releasing it as a single to coincide with Like You Do, but they didn't. Only one single came off that, one new single I should say. Obviously there was a lot of stuff from the back catalogue that had come out as singles since the late 80s. Anyway, What If, number 4. As Lightning Seeds singles go, it's good. It's just a little bit on the weak side for them. You know, I kind of set my expectations high for Ian Browdy and singles, really. And it was probably, I would say, mid-tier for them, but not bad at all. Number 5's a great track, and another one that did come out as a single, and like What If, it got top 20, I think. Sugar Coated Iceberg, that was co-written with Stephen Jones of Baby Bird, he of Your Gorgeous fame. Number 6, Touch and Go. Now number 7, the track is called Like You Do, so this is where it gets confusing, because the compilation that came out a year later is called Like You Do, but the track Like You Do, to the best of my remembrance, doesn't feature on the compilation. They just liked the title so much they decided to name that compilation album the same as this track. So good track, nothing extra special, Wish Away, track 8, really like that. Number 9, Fingers and Thumbs. Number 10 is a cover version, the only cover version on this album, and it covers a track written by, I think, Gene Clark and Jim McGuinn, or Roger McGuinn, from the Byrds, and released initially in, I think, 1968 by the Turtles, You Showed Me, and the Lightning Seeds cover of it, and there's been a few other acts who've covered that over the years. The Lightning Seeds version is almost like a trip-hop kind of vibe, really. Trip-hop isn't one of my favourite genres, but it's a great one. It's a toss-up between that and the next track as to my favourite on the album, really, and certainly my favourite single released from the album, You Showed Me, and interestingly that was the only other single by the Lightning Seeds that ever got inside the top 10 apart from Three Lions. So they've only ever had 2 top 10 singles, really, if you count all the versions and reissues of Three Lions as one thing. Number 11, Ready or Not, wonderful, love that song so much, always have done. Really, that deserved to be a bigger hit. There again, it missed the top 10 as almost all of Lightning Seed singles for years did. And ends with kind of like an acoustic led track, but a pleasant enough finish, Fishers on the Line. So that is Dizzy Heights.
You show me how to say exactly what you say in that very special way. Oh, it's true. You fell for me too.
A great album, and I think overall the singles are probably overall weaker than the ones that were chosen from Jollification, but there's just enough good stuff, and I think this album's a little bit longer. There's an extra 1 or 2 tracks on it. I think Dizzy Heights might just edge out Jollification for overall quality for me, but it's very close to call, and it probably depend on what mood I've been in, really. If I listen to this again some other time, or Jollification, I might end up preferring the other one. But so far, I think Dizzy Heights is the Lightning Seed's strongest album that's come out on Minidisc, certainly. I'm not including the first 2 studio albums, Cloud Cuckoo Land and Sense, because they never came out on Minidisc, although I have listened to them not too long ago because I bought the vinyl reissues. So there you go, another one done for Lightning Seeds month here on Minidisc Monday. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you to everyone for watching. Special thanks, as always, to my subscribers and patrons. I'm going to go now, and as we continue this celebration of all things Lightning Seeds, I'd like you to join me again in just 1 week's time as we take a look at the 3rd of my 4 Lightning Seeds albums on Minidisc. Cheers everyone. See ya!